Just because you land the job in America doesn't guarantee you a long-term visa. That's one of the big frustrations about the immigration process here in America is the long green card wait, the unpredictability of the H-1B lottery, and what to do if you want to stay here and work. Even if you have a job, it's not guaranteed. So Sameedha, we're going to hear about some of your crazy story, but first tell us, how did you land that first job out of college as you began your career here in America?
Hey Rob, getting a job as a student is a very stressful journey and it can be very painful too. And right after graduation, not everyone has a job. And I was one of those because my OPT clock had started ticking and I did not have an offer letter. So I was doubly stressed about it. However, as a stopgap solution, I took up a job as an environmental designer. Now, that wasn't a profile that I really wanted, but I knew it was necessary for me to take that up. So, after I started working for that position, I was still interviewing for roles that I was genuinely interested in. And during my time at CMU, I was interning for the design cell for CMU. So, with the help of the principal over there, when the principal came to know that I was interested in staying in Pittsburgh and working for a Pittsburgh based firm, they helped me to reach out to different people in the area and interview for them. And I got the present job that I work at because that is something that I was interested in. It aligned with my long term goals. And I was fortunate enough to get it through the contacts that I made while I was a student.
Great. And that helped maintain your visa status for that OPT work, correct?
Yes, it did.
Awesome. That's always good news. I hate how there's that short window and all the pressure for students. But,
It is very stressful.
and we're going to hear more craziness that Sameedha faced with the H-1B and a special alternative visa that she found that's actually maybe even better that you haven't heard of. But to hear about it, stay tuned. Hey friends, welcome to Chai and Coaching. I'm Rob, and at Chai and Coaching, we're all about helping you thrive and succeed in your cross-cultural journey, whether it's study abroad, working up here in America, or getting the right visas and immigration for your long-term goals. We're going to cover a lot today, especially work visas and maintaining visa status and how to work long-term here in America, even though it can feel like it's impossible sometimes. But we have an awesome story from Sameedha, so welcome and please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sameedha. I'm an architect and an urban designer. I did my Bachelor's of Architecture from Mumbai. I graduated in the year 2018. And after working in India for a year, I came to the US to pursue a master's in urban design from Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. And I've been working at an architectural engineering firm since then in the capacity of a designer.
Fantastic. And yeah, I appreciate you reaching out. I know hard stories are tough to share, but I know so many people are going to learn and benefit what you're going to share in just a little bit. So at the beginning, you shared about how you got that first job, and the goal during OPT is to hopefully convert into an H-1B, which allows a longer working, 3 than maybe 6 years in America. So tell us, Sameedha, what was your H-1B lottery experience like here in the US?
Architecture is a STEM course in the US, which is good news for all students who are applying because that is one of the major criterias that we as incoming students check. However, since H-1B is a lottery based system, it might not work for everyone. And I was one of those unfortunate souls. I applied through my employer for all 3 years. However, I was rejected,
So zero,
which,
zero for three.
yes, it was zero
Oh,
for three.
that's heartbreaking. I'm so sorry to hear that.
So the way the H-1B lottery works is that it runs through the period of February to April, which is the first nominations that are filed, and usually it is done through your employer. So your employer submits the H-1B petition on your behalf sometime during February, and you have the results of whether it was picked for the first stage results come out sometime during April. So you have a good idea of where you stand for a given year within 2 months.
Yeah. And I think, there's different categories and caps and allotments, different categorizations with H-1B. So we've covered that in other videos, and you can research that online. I know there's even some special designations giving to master's and PhD students. So there's a little bit of an advantage there. But still, in the recent years, there's been way more applicants than there is slots. And so I think maybe it's in the recent years, it's only about 25%, a quarter of the people who apply actually get it. So it's definitely not a guarantee. So if you do get the bad news of not landing your H-1B, getting that approved to move out of OPT F1 visa to a work visa, what are other options people can consider, and what did you look to and consider when H-1B kind of fails you?
It's not the end of the world if the H-1B fails you, because it can happen to many people. There's just too many applicants, and it might make you doubt yourself. It might make you feel bad because you are capable of it. It might make you doubt your merit, but there's no need to despair, because there's an option called a Day-1 CPT course. So through that, you can continue to work while you enroll into a master's course. So in my case, I enrolled into project management as a course because it would definitely help my career as an architect, because I could get into construction project management roles through that, or architectural project management roles through that, which is what I did for a few months.
Are you worried about your work visa status in America? It's time to stop. Whether you've been laid off, your OPT status is about to run out, or you didn't get picked up in the H-1B lottery, you've got options. Syndesis is a Chine coaching partner which can help you pivot and prevent you from an unplanned move back home. Syndesis can help move your remote US job to Canada and also help you get PR and citizenship much quicker there in Canada. Syndesis also leverages Canada's global talent stream to connect top talent with companies who are ready to hire. Check out Syndesis for your visa and career solutions today with the links above and below. So yeah, tell us, Day-1 CPT universities, there's several around America, maybe a dozen or two. And we also have a couple of videos specifically about how that works. But from day one, you're qualified for internship. You don't have to wait those 2 long semesters. So you can work and study, you can earn, you can maintain a job while doing studies. Some are in person, some are remote or kind of correspondent. But yeah, what was your experience like doing that Day-1 CPT at Harrisburg University there in Pennsylvania?
So Harrisburg is like a 3.5 hour drive from Pittsburgh, which is not so bad. And most of the classes were virtual. You're expected to be on campus only for 3 classes in a given semester, and all of these take place on the weekend. So you're not going to be missing out on any work hours. And in some cases, the employer also helps you fund a part of this tuition fee. This might not be the case for all employers, but definitely you could check with yours, because that might help. And in terms of the workload, it's totally doable. So I used to attend my virtual classes after my workday was done. All of them were held in the evenings, which was super convenient. And the course load is something that might get heavy at times, but it's something you just manage. It's not going to be too heavy, nothing unbearable. So that's helpful.
Yeah, I've had several friends who, again, were unlucky with H-1B. They kind of got failed. Nothing they did wrong, just the system. And so they also pivoted to Day-1 CPT, allowed them to work, actually learn some new things, pivot to another stream or focus that kind of helps complement their degree. And some people had really good experiences. So we actually have a whole playlist about Day-1 CPT, including an interview of a student who also attended Harrisburg University. We did a deep dive on that college. So if you want to learn more, check out the links for that playlist and those videos. Sameedha, did you have a favorite or different kind of thing? I know you did traditional masters at CMU Carnegie Mellon, but was there anything else unique about a Day-1 CPT college that someone should know?
Oh, what I found extremely unique about a Day-1 CPT university is just how flexible a master's course can be. Because my traditional master's course at CMU was like this full-time course which demanded a lot of attention, a lot of study hours, and like a full focus. I could not have worked and studied at the same time.
Hmm.
However, the way the Day-1 CPT course was designed is that it's basically done so that you can also pay attention to your work, which means that it's going to be which means that you can sort of customize the assignments based on what you do. So, a medical student and a design student can tackle the same assignment through very different perspectives. And
Hmm.
it facilitates a very interesting discussion in the class. And also, the group projects can get really fun because you have people from all these different walks of
Hmm.
life working towards the same assignment. So there's a lot of interaction with different people during the assignment. So I found that to be very interesting.
So Day 1 CPT is not always a permanent fix, but it's a helpful pivot. Allows you to stay, to study, to work. To maintain visa status in America, but it's definitely not a long-term solution. Sameedha did find a long-term solution, a special visa, which we'll get to in just a second. But first, if you're learning a lot, hit that like button to say thanks and cheers to Sameedha for sharing her journey, her struggles that hopefully can help you guys maybe not have to face these same struggles. And also, our chai question for you guys is, what visa questions do you have? Let us know in the comments. Type them below. We want to know what visa questions you have, what help we can give. We can answer them there or make other helpful videos pertaining to those things that you guys want to know about. So let us know what questions you have about visas, especially work visas here in the States. Okay, so we've been building to this point in the video. Sameedha, after not getting H-1B, pivoting to Day-1 CPT, was able to find an alternative called an O-1 visa, a talent work visa. So, Sameedha, tell us about this O-1 visa, how you pivoted to it, and why people need to know about this special visa.
So after I heard about it from my friends, of course, the first step was to Google everything about it because this was something that was completely new to me. So after I Googled it, I was actually very discouraged to try it out because the way it was described was it was almost described as an Einstein's visa, and I'm not that smart. And it seemed like the categories that were mentioned were too high to reach. So there are around 8 categories, and the applicant has to be proficient in 3 of those, minimum 3 of those. So what I did was I spoke to a few immigration lawyers, ones who specialize in the O1 visa. I sent them my profile, a very detailed CV, and they got back to me with a free consultation during which they discussed my profile, the pros and cons of it, how I could make it better, how it could be made stronger for an O1 application. And that is where we went from.
Great. And I know O1, there's kind of 8 pillars or 8 categories that you can qualify. There's O1A and O1B. One is for more like other types of talent, like acting, sports, musicians, who want to come to America. And then one is more technical, career based. Is that right?
Right. So the O1A visa is usually for people who are into sciences, tech, business, education, athletics. And the O1B is for more of the creative professionals, so designers, performance artists, anyone into pure arts. So that's the main distinction between O1A and O1B. However, the 8 criteria that you need to fulfill are the same for both O1A and O1B. So those include categories like the awards you've received for your work, the memberships that you are a part of, your original contributions to the field you are in, the press coverage that your contributions and you as an individual have received, the amount of salary you make. However, the salary is usually ignored because that's very subjective. So lawyers don't usually focus on that category. If you have presented anywhere, if you have performed anywhere, if you are into mentoring others, if you have judged events. So basically, it makes an assessment of how of your contributions to your field and how well known you are in your field.
So besides Googling, we do have some great videos on the channel about O1, and our friend Mayank, who also got his, explains the whole process. But our friend Sundori, in her book Unshackled, explains O1 has an entire chapter. So this is another great resource I want to recommend to you guys about O1 and options when the H-1B doesn't work out for you. So Sameedha, how long did that process take you to pivot and achieve an O1 visa?
So the timeline for the O1 can vary greatly based on how strong your profile is. I was lucky enough that my profile needed very minor tweaks and that my work as an architect actually helped me reach it quicker because, in terms of original contributions to the field, the projects that I've worked on helped me go a long way. So I would say that from the initial call with the lawyers, where we discussed the shortcomings of my profile and what we needed to make it stronger, to the actual application was around 3.5 to 4 months. However, the actual time that I dealt with the lawyers for was about a month only. So, if your profile is very strong, if you feel that you can qualify for it, and if the lawyers give you a go ahead, it might be as short as 1 month for you. However, if you are just starting out, if you're still sort of dealing with how to get there, it might take as long as a year or a year and a half.
Yeah. And this is something that you can start early, even as a student. You don't have to be working, you don't have to have your degree yet. You can begin building that profile and kind of having that backup plan, or even sidestep the whole H-1B process and go for O1 if you can plan ahead, know what to do, what to look for. And Sameedha, what has life been like now on O1 for you as a professional in America?
I have been very happy because the oven is a more permanent sort of solution. So the first approval that you get is for 3 years, and after that, you can renew it an infinite number of times. It's not like the H-1B in that manner. Also, you can apply for the H-1B only once a year, which is during February to April, as opposed to O1, which you can apply any time of the year. And if your application is rejected the first time, you can just work on it and come back again. Um, Also, in terms of O1, it is more liberating because I can work on different projects as opposed to just being tied to one employer. So I have been very happy with my O1 visa.
Yeah, sounds like there's a lot more advantages to it compared to H-1B, and more people need to know about it, consider it, and try it out. And from what I've heard, is it actually has a really high approval rate. The workload and the preparation maybe scare people off, like you mentioned. Oh, maybe I don't qualify. But people who do put the hard work in and get a good lawyer and a company who's willing to sponsor, I've heard that at least over 80% of the people that apply get approved, which is super encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, both H-1B and O-1 are merit-based visas, but unfortunately, since H-1B is a lottery, even if you are talented enough, you might not qualify, which does not happen with an O-1 because in an O-1 visa, if your profile is strong enough, if you really have what it takes to qualify, then you're definitely going to get one.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I know your perseverance and your hard work definitely paid off.
Thank you.
Yeah. And friends, if you're interested, we made another amazing video with Sameedha about her study abroad journey, where she did a master's in architecture and urban design at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. So we'll have links for that. If those kind of degrees or courses interest you, check it out to see if this is a really good degree opportunity and if a architecture degree is worth it in America. Don't forget to check out Syndesis for the remote jobs in Canada and see if you qualify for their special career paths. You might be the exact employee that they're looking for. And Sameedha, thank you for telling your story. I know these are struggles that people maybe don't think or understand they're going to face, but learning from your story, I think, is going to help people have a smoother journey in the future. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob. I was very happy that I could share through your platform. Thank you for having me.
And friends, to get more help, be sure to connect with us online on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is great for networking and job search. We have an awesome e-newsletter that goes out every week with lots of resources and tips, especially regarding these kind of things. And we just love having you being part of the Chine coaching community. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and we'll see everyone next time. Cheers, friends.